After years of traveling across China, I've had the opportunity to eat on the extremes. The spiciest, the smokiest, the most sour, and some of the most unusual. But never once have I had to cut a video short because it became too much for me to bear. That is until today. And it's because the food is too sweet. I didn't think I'd be saying this, but I'm a little bit sick of all the sweet food. That's all coming up in today's food adventure. Hello, and welcome to another Chinese food adventure, and I've got a sweet video coming for you guys today, quite literally, because I've just arrived here in Wuxi, which is apparently home to China's sweetest cuisine. How sweet is it actually? Well, I will be the judge of that. First up on the agenda is breakfast. I'm gonna be going to this place here for some soup dumplings, xiaolongbao, or as they're referred to here in Wuxi, xiaolong mantou. A little bit different here to other places I've ordered like soup dumplings before, where they usually come in a big basket of at least, I don't know, 7 or 8. Here they actually serve their xiaolongbao by the twos. And here they are. I've ordered the crab filling because as I'm here filming this, it's currently crab season. My 2 xiaolongbao have arrived. How gorgeous do they look? So I'm gonna go in and eat it right away because there's nothing more disappointing than a cold xiaolongbao. Gotta get it while those juices are hot. I'm gonna pour a little bit of this in, which I believe is vinegar. First things first, I'm gonna pierce the skin and get that juice out. Whoa, it's unmistakably sweet. It is really sweet. You've got a crabbiness in there from the crab as well. It's quite gingery as well. I like the ginger in it a lot. I feel like it really lifts the flavor. Whereas I think if it didn't have that ginger, it might be a bit on the sweet, on the too sweet side. Oh, that's so sweet. I think they've seen me filming here and they've actually gifted me a portion of, this one is the meat xiaolong mantou. So I'm curious to see how it differs to the crab ones that I've just had and whether the flavor is very different. You know the drill. Let's get in there right away. Oh, it's hot. Whoa, that's even sweeter. Honestly, what this reminds me of is just drinking maple syrup, like honey or something like that. There's also a lot more juice in this one. This one's absolutely filled with juice. I haven't even gotten to the end of it. And you can see just how thin that wrapper is. It's very delicate, very soft. I haven't tried the meat yet, but I can only assume it's very tender. Let's go in for a bite. Like a really tender, flavorful, and slightly oniony meatball inside. I think this one actually I do need to put with a little bit of vinegar because that sweetness is a little overwhelming, I have to say. Final thoughts. 2 xiaolongbao are more than enough. I understand why they only serve it in portions of 2. If you got a big rack of them for one person, I don't think you could have more than 2 before you start feeling like this is just too much sugar and sweet for me. I've also ordered one other thing, which I heard is a local specialty, but I don't think this is actually going to be sweet at all. Actually, as the name suggests, I think it's going to be sour and spicy. This is tang, and on top here you can see those bread-like things. That's not bread, that's just full-on gluten, mianjin. And here in Wuxi, I've learned that there are hundreds of ways of preparing gluten, and I'm sure we're going to see that through the day, some other varieties of gluten. But first up on our gluten agenda is this tang, and I've heard you can like dip those bits of gluten inside, get it nice and soggy, and then eat it all together with that soup. And as for the soup, we've got a little bit of meat over in this corner here. The soup in general is more on the thicker side. I mean, check that out, it's quite starchy. And inside it looks like we also have little bits of enoki mushrooms, got a little bit of there's a lot of stuff in here actually. Like in a ratio of a spoon, there's more stuff to soup. So I'm gonna go in for a big spoonful of a little bit of everything, including some of that soaked up piece of gluten. It's definitely a really nice respite from the sweetness of those xiaolong mantou. It's true to its name, it's quite sour from like a very vinegary taste in there, but it's also very peppery. And actually when I first put it on my mouth, it somehow reminded me of the taste of pizza. I don't know, feel free to like discount that there, but it has a bit of a pizza taste. And actually now in the aftertaste, it tastes a bit like KFC. Like the pepperiness, you know, like a KFC fried chicken, how it's got that, you know, peppery, yum. I wasn't expecting it, and another thing I really wasn't expecting is it still is a little bit sweet. It's a really nice balance of flavors actually. You've got the sour, you've got the pepperiness. I wouldn't say it's too spicy, like my mouth is slightly warm. I mean, on the spice scale, I'd give this a 0.05, but it does exist. But another thing that is coming at me is a slight sweetness, which rounds off the flavor quite nicely. And as for that gluten inside, it's kind of like bread, like the taste is a little bit bready, but the texture is not like bread. It doesn't fall apart in your mouth as quickly as bread would if it was submerged in soup. It's a little bit more resistant. Anyway, I'm gonna finish this off and then we're going for a walk. Today we're eating and walking, guys, not only taking in the sweet food, but the sweet sights of this city. Had to stop my walk briefly. So I'm a little off the path because I have come across a man and his reindeer? Is this a deer? What animal is this? A little, what's that? Bambi. Oh, you know what I've just realized? This is a photo shoot and I've just come in the middle of it. So I'm gonna leave now because I'll let them get their family photo shoot. I thought it was just a man out on a walk with his deer, honestly. It does make more sense that it's like a family photo shoot. Still strange. Anyway, I was heading southwest towards my next destination when I saw on my map there was some kind of historical cultural area here. So I took a detour to check it out and it was totally worth it. It's called Xiaoluxiang and it's a super chill walking street with lots of tea stores and boutiques. It's got this very historical vibe and I've learned that's because it's actually got about 900 years of history. But like many places in China, the contrast is real. I mean, we're here on this 900-year-old street, but in the backdrop we have like a seriously modern mall. We've got skyscrapers. Yeah, this is China for you. So this is something I really want to actually do. So I've been seeing this all over my social media. Basically, they use all these stamps to create like a beautiful postcard with all these colors, but they do it color by color. Anyway, let's get back on the road and head to our next stop, Nanchang Temple. It's one of the most famous sites here in Wuxi. So I have walked my way to the Nanchang Temple area. So we actually have the Nanchang Temple in question over here. There's also this beautiful pagoda. But another of the big reasons why people come to this area is for the snacks. There's just vendors everywhere. Anywhere there could be a vendor, there is a vendor. A lot of stuff on sticks. But something that's a little bit different about the offering here is number one on all of the menus is grilled gluten. I've never tried grilled gluten. Oh man, that's hard to say. Grilled gluten. I've never tried that before, so let's give it a go. Here we go, guys. Gluten on a stick. How does it taste? Ooh. It's very soft. Very different texture to the one we had earlier. This is a lot more juicy. Very juicy. Asked him to put some chili on it, of course. It's really good. Not bad at all. It's also super, super flavorful thanks to all of those spices on there, all of that chili. And one thing's for sure, this is not sweet. But spoiler alert, that is not going to be the case for the rest of the foods we eat today. Anyway, just down the road from Nanchang Temple is another historic walking area called Nanchang and it's absolutely gorgeous. So far, this is my third walking street I've been to today, and I have to say, this has got to be my favorite. Something about the combination of these tree-lined avenues, which are just really, I'm loving. You've got the cobblestone streets. We're also right next to the river that's running through the city. And every now and again through the buildings, you get peaks of that river. It's really, really gorgeous. You also have all these cafes that are beautifully renovated to fit in with this street. I mean, right here we have a Pete's coffee, which I've never really thought as being the vibe, but this Pete's coffee is absolutely gorgeous. But I think I'm ready for some lunch. I have done enough walking. I'm ready for some more sugar. So I found this place online. It was nearby, had good reviews, and serves local Wuxi dishes. But more specifically, I was looking for a place to try this dish right here. This is what I want. It is the famous Wuxi ribs. It's basically made from soy sauce and rock sugar, so it's candied meat. And this is my portion here. And I've also got myself some more gluten, except inside this one it's meat. Another very famous specialty here in Wuxi. Cannot wait to try this. And I've also been given the best seat in the house. I asked if they still have tables outside because I saw it online. They have a beautiful balcony. Basically got this balcony to myself on this most beautiful river here. I mean, sweet view for a sweet meal, because I think this one we're about to have is going to be the sweetest we have all day. Let's go for this one first, the Wuxi Paigu, the dish we came here to try. Check out that deep red color and oh my gosh, that glaze. I can practically taste the sugar already. Whoa. It's sweet and salty. Oh, that's delicious. It just falls off the bone. And just clean that bone just like that. But yeah, I'm basically eating meat candy right now. I really enjoyed the first 3 or 4 ribs, but at some point I have to say the sweetness became a bit much. Slowly but surely it's really getting to me. I'm 5 ribs in and it's starting to be very overwhelmingly sweet. So I'm glad I have some rice. It's so sweet here. She just brought me some vegetables because she was scared that maybe it was going to be too sweet for me. How delicious does this look? This vegetable, by the way, is qingsun, which is green bamboo shoot. Oh, that's so refreshing. Man, that's delicious, these vegetables. Not sweet at all, really crunchy. It's got some garlic in there, it's got spring onion in there. So it's a really nice contrast from the ribs. And I think that's the key to enjoying Wuxi cuisine properly, is to have maybe a side dish next to it that can help alleviate that sweetness when you're feeling it. Like, I mean, if I was just sitting down to a plate of these ribs, I don't think I could have more than half, but now I'm ready to go back in and keep eating. Okay, now it's time to try some more gluten. This is another very famous way of preparing gluten here in Wuxi. On the outside you have gluten, and on the inside it's gonna be meat. Whoa, it's delicious. You've just got like the thinnest layer of gluten on the outside there, and inside you have a very, very tender, juicy ball. It's slightly gingery as well, which lifts the flavor. Slightly sweet, not overwhelmingly sweet, like our Salang kind of meat that we had this morning. Actually, what I want to do is put some of this rice inside so it can soak up that juice. But I think that's going to taste absolutely delicious. Yep. It does. It was so good. The flavors came together so nicely. That juice, that broth at the bottom wasn't too overwhelming in saltiness or sweetness. It just went really well all together. I don't know if that's how it's meant to be done, but it tasted really good that way. This was a really nice meal. Sweet meal, nice meal, sweet view, nice view. But we're on the move again towards our next destination here in Wuxi. 你觉得无锡的菜甜不甜？
当然甜了，我们那边不甜。
你能接受吗？
我能接受，我在这里已经定居了，习惯了。
习惯了哦，
我能接受。
你第一次来是什么反应呢？
啊，怎么这么甜啊！天哪！
So I have arrived at my next destination. I needed to take a taxi because it was a little bit too far to walk here. So this is Huishan Guzhen. It's another kind of ancient area, a touristy kind of area, but I wanted to come because it looks really, really pretty online. In the future, I think if anyone asks for my impressions of Wuxi, I'm going to give them 3 things. Sweet food, lots of gluten, and beautiful walking streets, because man, this is my 4th of the day. It's very pretty. And it wasn't long before I found something I wanted to try. Hachima. Oh, that looks good too. So I'm gonna get one of each and give it a try. I mean, how cute is this? I have to say I'm a little bit surprised to hear that this is actually savory. It's got meat inside. It looks like it could be an ice cream, huh? So this is how it's made. Basically, a lot of batter is put in there. And I believe that is sprinkles. 那个是什么？ It's then covered with this fiery hot plate and baked for about 5 minutes or so until it's cooked enough to come out of the molds and hold its shape. I also got myself one of these yulan bing, another famous Wuxi specialty. Found myself a nice chill spot here so I can have some snacks. So first up, I want to try this one here, which is mei hua gao, which literally translates as plum blossom cake. I guess I'll just eat it like an ice cream. Oh wow. I mean, it's supposed to be savory, but of course this is Wuxi, so it's still extremely sweet. That meat is very, very sweet. It's very interesting. It's quite cakey on top there. I mean, it's got quite a thick layer of batter. It doesn't have too much of a flavor on its own. The most flavor comes from those sprinkles on top there. Also gives it a little bit of a crunch because it's a little bit crunchy on top there as well. The meat is very soft and very, very sweet and flavorful. It's actually a little bit too much for me right now. I think the day of eating sugar is slowly but surely catching up to me. Now let's try this yulan bing, which is a famous Wuxi snack. Let's try. It's even sweeter. Look at it. You've got this very glutinous kind of skin there, which I really like because it's quite crunchy on the outside. It's got that satisfying glutinous texture. And then on the inside, it's very sweet. I haven't even properly bitten into the meat though. I mean, I'm glad I just ordered one because that is one very, very rich snack. That meat is very sweet. The sauce is sweet. It's another sweet thing. Honestly, I didn't think I'd be saying this, but I'm a little bit sick of all the sweet food. Guys, I'm feeling some kind of way right now. So I've been all around this country, eaten so many different things, all on the extremes, you know, the spiciest, the saltiest, the most sour, some of the most unusual. I mean, I've eaten a cow penis for God's sake, but today is the first time in the history of my channel that I've actually had to cut a video short because I just can't take it anymore, and it's because of sweetness. I really wasn't expecting it. I mean, I have a huge sweet tooth. I love my sweet desserts, but I don't think ever before I've eaten so much sweet food consistently throughout the day. And I found myself eating my afternoon teas just now and just feeling like I did pass the point of enjoyment, and I never want to push food to that extreme. I always want to be enjoying what I'm eating. And it's a real shame because if I would have had that yulan biang earlier in the day, the first thing today, I would have had a completely different reaction because it was very tasty. It just pushed me over the top. It's just too much sugar at that point. And yeah, I had dinner planned. Actually, at this restaurant up here, they have this eel on the menu here. This crispy eel, which I believe is actually fei yi, like intangible cultural heritage. I wanted to try this, but I just can't do it, unfortunately. So that'll have to wait for next time. Yeah, this feels so weird ending a video early, but I think it's for the best. Anyway, you're not gonna wanna miss next week's video because guess who's back? Guess who's back? Hello. So make sure you like, comment, and please, please, please subscribe. And Jasmine and I will see you in Nanjing next week. Bye for now.